Up next on Valley News Live at 10, easy does it out there. Conditions are slippery.
Repairing a bad credit report can be challenging. We're going to offer up some ways to fix the problem.
Plus, the very latest on Tiger Woods, his crash and efforts to surgically fix injuries to his legs. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
We begin tonight with travel trouble, and we've seen and heard plenty of it. This is a crash under I-29, on I-29, just under the 32nd Avenue overpass at Luther Ford. It cleared up about an hour ago. Right now, that's all the details we have on that.
But in a separate crash at the intersection of Cheyenne and 32nd Avenue South in West Fargo, one person was thrown from a vehicle around 8 o'clock this evening. Officials tell us that person is in stable condition. 3 vehicles were involved in that crash due to the slippery roads.
The snow that's been falling is heavy and wet, and you're going to have to take it easy. This is what it looked like about an hour ago heading north on I-29 right around the 32nd Avenue South exit. I can tell you now, snowflakes are much bigger. Also, keep in mind the slippery conditions are going to be on the sidewalks and parking lots as well, so be careful. We talked about travel trouble on the other side of the river as well. You're looking now at 11th and Main in Moorhead, where roads are slick and snow is heavy. Let's head over to Hutch right away for the latest on the weather conditions. Hutch?
Thanks so much. It's that wet, heavy snow. It's almost slush-like, so it really does take control of your wheels. It's slippery out there. Let's get to the North Dakota Department of Transportation websites. Look at our road reports where you see the yellows and purples. We have some wintry driving conditions through the eastern third of North Dakota. It's wet roads in southeast North Dakota where temperatures today were much warmer. Take a look at the Minnesota DOT site. Where you see the pink colors here is some wintry travel conditions. That includes portions of west central Minnesota in Lakes Country here. So there are some areas that are seeing some accumulation on area roads. The Devil's Lake area has snowy roads, but the snowfall has exited and is now moving south and diving out of the region, lingering around a little longer than expected. Ellendale up to Gwinner and the FM area is starting to see some snow, and I do not know if we have the other radar view from our friends at the University of North Dakota. If we do have that, great. If not, I have that radar. Take a look at the bright green bands here. That is from the radar site at the University of North Dakota. The bright greens, it's a heavy band of snow moving into the FM area right now. This could produce a quick inch of snow on top of the almost 2 inches that we measured outside our studios moments ago. Your hour-by-hour forecast here, guys, in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch. And authorities in Moorhead are working on a report of a robbery. It was said to be in the 100 block of 11th Street South, and it happened about 8:30. We have reached out to police and are waiting for more details.
In other news tonight, a blemish on your credit report could cost you. You could lose out on a job, a home, or your car. And lenders could even make you pay higher rates if you need a new loan. Our national investigative team found out the number of reported disputes has doubled since the pandemic began. But Investigate TV's Sandra Jones found that in the same time, the government gave credit reporting agencies permission to delay fixing problems on your report.
It was scary.
It was October of 2015. James Kasula and his wife Jill were on the road when he had a medical emergency.
As I said, I'm not going to make it. My head was just pounding really bad.
He suffered from a brain aneurysm and had to be medevaced to the ER.
I was petrified that he was not going to make it.
James survived, but what came next was just as unexpected. A $50,000 bill to be airlifted to the hospital.
I thought we got ripped off.
The Kasulas said their insurance company mailed them a $9,600 check in 2016, and they sent it directly to the medevac company.
We thought that it was completely satisfying.
But last summer, the couple applied for a loan to refinance their home. The bank denied them because of a delinquent account showing on their credit report. $40,000 for that medical bill.
I thought it was a scam.
The couple disputed the debt with one of the credit reporting agencies and got a response right away.
They didn't even have it 2 or 3 days and they sent it back rejected. No, it's valid. There's no way they could have researched that.
Consumer law attorney Craig Kimmel is currently representing the Kasulas in this case.
So at no time was Mr. Kasula provided an opportunity to dispute the debt until he became aware that it was now on his credit report.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau reports the number of complaints it receives from consumers, An Investigate TV analysis of the CFPB data shows that complaints more than doubled between 2019 and 2020, with just over 200,000 complaints. That's compared to the complaint numbers reported in 2017 and 2018. Nearly every complaint, 93% of them, involved incorrect information on a credit report or consumers left unable to get a mistake corrected through the dispute process.
Rarely do credit reporting agencies do a proper and reasonable investigation when presented with a dispute.
The CFPB told credit reporting agencies that they can be flexible in responding to consumers disputing a problem with their credit report because of the pandemic.
I say maybe it's time to fire the credit bureaus.
Edmund Merzinski, who heads up the Federal Consumer Program at the U.S. Public Interest Research Group, has been a staunch critic of the credit bureau's practices for 30 years.
It's just an astonishing number, but it shows the effect of the pandemic on family finances, and the CFPB has done nothing about it.
The National Association of Consumer Advocates advises consumers to do the following to protect their credit histories. First, get a copy of your credit report. You can get it at annualcreditreport.com. It's free online. Find the causes of credit mistakes. Errors like incorrect names and social security numbers happen often. File a written dispute. Make sure to include the relevant documentation. Send dispute letters directly to the credit reporting agencies and put them on notice. And contact an attorney who handles credit issues in your area. Sandra Jones, Valley News Live.
The CFPD declined our interview request, instead sending a statement which reads in part, "The CFPD takes companies responsive to these complaints very seriously, and we're looking at how companies respond to complaints and what those complaints say when determining whether to prioritize exams or law enforcement action." Our team reached out to all 3 credit reporting agencies. None of them responded. If you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, here's some advice. Call our whistleblower hotline. The phone number is right there on your screen, 701-237-6576. Call that number and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
Fargo police are still searching for a man they say is responsible for a triple shooting at a downtown bar over the weekend. We've got the shocking video from the Bismarck Tavern that night. You can see the group seems to be physically fighting with someone in the middle of the circle who later emerges as Brandon Grant. Bartenders tell Valley News Live around 10 gunshots rang out just seconds after that video ended, leaving 3 victims with multiple bullet wounds. The Fargo Police Department is aware of this video, but they also want any other photos or videos you might have from that night. They're asking you to send any of that to police as soon as possible. Here's a better photo of the man police are looking for, 43-year-old Brandon Grant. Again, police say he is armed and dangerous. If you do see him, don't approach him. Instead, call 911. If you have information on this case, call 241-1407 or text the word Fargo PD to 847-411 with your tip.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz wants to make sure everyone in the state has an equal opportunity at getting a COVID vaccine shot. The governor says when doses arrive, the state needs to make sure the vaccines get to every community. He also says they will eventually get to a point where they will have more than they need.
We're going to get to a point where we have excess vaccines and we might have some vaccine hesitancy. Much of that vaccine hesitancy has every right to be hesitant over historical problems around it. But getting these validators now, getting them early and starting to make the case, we think will alleviate that.
People in Minnesota will soon be able to receive a vaccine at Hy-Vee pharmacies in addition to Thrifty White and Walmart. It's part of the federal retail pharmacy program, which was launched earlier this month.
The North Dakota Department of Health has a new plan to address vaccine access in the state. It's called the Health Equity COVID Strategic Plan. It focuses on certain populations, including African Americans, American Indians, LGBTQ, and immigrants, among others, and addresses why some are hesitant to get the vaccine. The plan also aims to find a solution since COVID-19 has disproportionately impacted certain groups. The U.S. could have 240 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines by the end of March. Pfizer and Moderna are pledging to have a combined 220 million doses available for shipment. Johnson & Johnson has pledged to also have 20 million doses available by the end of March. Pfizer says it will start shipping more than 13 million per week by the middle of March. Moderna plans to ship more than 40 million per month by April. To stay on top of the latest COVID vaccine-related information, just use our VNL vaccine tracker. You can visit our website or simply open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up.
Lucky to be alive, that's how the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is describing Tiger Woods. The global sports superstar is in the hospital tonight after a rollover crash on a steep, winding road in Southern California. Connor Powell has the latest for us.
Emergency crews used the jaws of life to free Tiger Woods from his mangled vehicle Tuesday morning following a single-car accident.
The vehicle ran off the road.
According to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the Gulf great was traveling alone along this road near Rancho Palos Verdes when he lost control of the vehicle. The car sustained major damage. Woods was transported to a nearby hospital. His agent says he suffered multiple leg injuries requiring surgery. Woods recently underwent a fifth procedure on his back in hopes of competing in the upcoming Masters tournament in Georgia. Over the weekend, Woods hosted the PGA Tour's Genesis Invitational and spoke to CBS Sports about his road to recovery.
I'm feeling fine. I'm a little bit stiff. I have one more MRI scheduled so that we'll see if the annulus has scarred over finally, and then I can start doing more activities.
At the time of the accident, the 45-year-old was in the area for an annual golf tournament in the Pacific Palisades and was recently spotted with sports greats, including Dwayne Wade. It's unclear what caused Tuesday's crash. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Still ahead tonight, a record need at an area food bank. The changes they're planning when Valley News Live at 10 continues.
Very slippery roads developing in the FM area and beyond. The snow is on its way out, but it is not done yet. I'll have the latest in your hour-by-hour forecast coming up. Join me right after this.